Hello folks, welcome. So this video is made for 3 different desktops: Linux Mint 22, Linux Mint 21.3, and LMDE 6. All of those are Cinnamon desktops. And you should have the same tools that I'm going to be presenting today. I'm generally going to focus more about shortcuts, and they could be folders and files. And I'll talk about how to add these to your file manager. This one and this one. Move into new folder and create a desktop shortcut. So this video should be fairly short, but I will try to explain this in detail. I never know the skill set of users, so sometimes I go overboard with explanations, and some people appreciate it and some people don't. Filming in 1080. Adjust your YouTube player accordingly if necessary. The subscription key is in the corner, well over 450 videos. So let's talk about adding these tools first. Open up your menu and find your system settings. And find your action tools. Again, all those Cinnamon desktops should have these. Linux Mint 21.3 though does not have the layout, but it will have manage and download. And also LMDE 6. So I added the create desktop shortcut. You can find it in downloads. You can install a thing. You can also look up information about a thing. If you're interested in that tool, look up the light bulb. It goes to Cinnamon Spices website. And then if you like it, you hit the install key and it becomes manage. A lot of people make the mistake of once they install the tool by not activating the tool. So to give you an idea, when I deactivate this tool, it's no longer available in my Mint menu. I'm sorry, not Mint menu, your file manager. So there's no make a shortcut here. So let me activate the tool. So that puts it there. It also can be managed in here, providing it's installed under plugins. So these are plugins. So if I can also disable it here. So these are the latest tools that I just added. Move into new folder and create a desktop shortcut. So in either case, they are installed and active because they have check marks on them. That's how you can install them. Now let's talk about some usage. So we can also colorize folders. This is the current theme that I'm using, so let me get this out of the way. I'm just using the Mint white blue icons. So whenever you make a shortcut to your desktop, even though that's colored, your shortcut will still be your theme, in my case blue, even though that's green. The other thing about this is they're independently resized. I'll make those tiny, and that's not so much tiny. So even though they're using the same file manager, they're still independent. Okay, so I'll resize those on the fly. If I recolorize this folder, let's say orange, not a big deal. This is still not the same color. I'll wipe it out and put it back again. However, I can do the shortcut with a different color also than this. Right click, I'll make that one purple. All I need to do is reopen the folder and close it. And that'll take on the new color. Okay, hopefully that was clear. All right, so let me get this one out of the way, then I'll talk about multiple folders at the same time, because this one is probably not going to be used by a lot of people. But let's say I want this My Junk 2 into a new folder. You can do this in a different way, which is right-click, create a new folder first, and then you can just cut this and put it in there. But there's a tool for this. Move into a new folder. I'm just going to call that one, we'll just call it T4. All right, all I did was cut that folder and threw it into T4. That's all this tool does. Probably not a lot of high usage on that. Now I'm going to cut this and drop it right back to where I had it and get rid of that and continue with the shortcuts. All right, so again, Nemo, your file manager, version 6.2.8, can independently color folders. So if I wanted to make that one, let's say green, whenever you send this as a shortcut, is still blue until you colorize the shortcut. Hopefully that made sense. All right, so what are these things? Well, they're shortcuts from my download folder. Now, why would I create something like that in my download folder? Have you seen my video on KDE Connect? KDE Connect is used for file sharing. These files come off my iPhone. This one comes off one of the tower computers, and this one came off of a laptop. They're independent. So those are represented here. And you can do all three at the same time. So if you seen my video on that and you like this kind of organization with your download folder, and the cool thing that the reason I presented that last week was when I have a whole bunch of web browsers downloading a whole bunch of junk in here, I don't want all the files contaminated together. Well, that's probably a wrong word to use, but all messed up together. I want them independent. So that's why I'm putting them in containers. Everything sent from the iPhone to this computer ends up here. Everything sent from that tower computer ends up here. And everything else from that, I think it's a laptop, gets sent here. However, I can select all three, right-click, and make 3 different shortcuts. And I don't have to keep the colors. All right, I'll make the iPhone red. And I'll make this one green and make this one, I don't know, purple. I need to open and close these to change the color schemes for the shortcuts. They all have arrows on them, as you can see. And now if you have this tool turned on, you cannot move them around. You probably saw my shut down now icon snapped from here to here. That's because this is on. When I turn it off, I can move this independently. I got to be careful with that one. Double click and I power off my system. I've shown these many times with many Linux distributions, and I have a lot of videos on my YouTube site. Anyways, moving along. So I'm going to move these shortcuts over to here. And I'll just give you an example. I'll send something from the iPhone. Why don't I just wipe this out? So I'll just make a subfolder in here. I'll just call it back, as in backup. And I'll use Control A to select everything, deselect that, and hit Control X to cut those, and dump them in here. There's another tip for you. All those files are in here. So the primary folder has nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a photo from it, or a file. I haven't figured out which yet. And, oh yeah, painter hat guy. Add. You can see the incoming message. So my notifications are received at the top. You also have the option of bottom. That's all done through settings. And you can see the file right there. Well, in this case, a photo. Spacebar to open, spacebar to close. All right, let's talk about regular files as a shortcut. Let's say you're working with this PDF here. And this is the wrong way of doing shortcuts. You just moved the file from Sam's document folder onto your desktop. Okay, that's here now. Your desktop is actually also a folder, believe it or not, or it's displayed that way in your file manager. The only icons you will never see are the system icons for like these right here. These are the only ones that you will not see. I'll put the trash can on there for a second. You can physically see it, but it's not part of this list because that's a system icon. All right, so, and it doesn't do me any good at deleting it either. So let me turn that off and go back to here. So as long as this is off, we can move these around, and we can also talk about, since this file here is a shortcut, or is it? No, this is not a shortcut because it doesn't have an arrow on it. So be careful with these. If you meant to put this on your desktop as a shortcut, then use that new tool. So it gives it an arrow on it. The original file stays in its original location. But since this is a PDF, I can also do the same magic that I did with the photo, is hit the space bar. Okay, I can also enlarge this box and then use my control key with the zoom factor. And then I can scroll regularly and find whatever information I'm looking for, including links. Okay. Holding down the control key, zooming in. Now I'm going to hit my space bar to close. Space bar to open, space bar to close. I didn't open the file. Double clicking would be opening the file. And that is, if I can hit that right, that's XReader. I wasn't using XReader. This is a preview tool. As long as this is selected, it'll open. And it only has a close button. So this could be useful if you're doing a quick view of a PDF with a shortcut. So maybe some of you folks may see value in this tip, and others maybe not so much. So again, I covered the tools called Create a Desktop Shortcut, which can be done with folders or files. And you can do multiple folders at the same time. And the other tool can also be found here in your downloads called Move into New Folder. And again, last week I showed how to add the Send with KDE Connect in your file manager, which generally KDE Connect uses files when it sends, multiple select, and I have 2 devices online. And I showed in my latest video for Cinnamon how to get around the idea of sending folders, because when you're doing folders, it doesn't allow you to use KDE Connect unless you convert that to like a tar file. That information can all be found on my other video if you're using that tool. But generally, that's not what this video is about. It's more about productivity shortcuts on your desktop if you use those, and colorizing folders. Thank you for watching.